Well, today we're going to be talking about NAACP, former NAACP president in Spokane, Washington, Rachel Dolezal. She is causing quite a stir. She identified herself as being African American with no lick of African American blood in her.
I love Miss Rachel.
You love her?
Miss Rachel? Oh, you're addressing her as Miss Rachel?
I love Rachel.
Why is that?
I love Rachel. This is going to be good radio, ladies and gentlemen. All right, I can tell you already. Allie and I were going at it. First of all, everybody has origins to Africa. So, therefore, you know she's a graduate of Howard University.
Yes, she is.
So
My
she got
alma
it
mater.
right.
Yes.
Right, so she got it right. And I'm a person from for the record, I'm a person from HBCU.
Okay.
I was part of the education case that we won against the state of Maryland. I was one of the plaintiffs and made an expert witness where they were underfunding higher education for all the historically black schools here. And I'm here to tell you that race, as we're taught in all academia, is a social construct. This is a woman, because we're getting right into this show.
Right.
This is a woman who voluntarily, who outed her? Her parents. I found it very interesting. This is a woman who made a decision to go to an HBCU, first of all, and she has 2 black children who are, they're not like, they identifiably black. Now, do I have issues with her integrity as far as not mentioning it? Yeah.
Not mentioning it, she was passing.
Of course. Oh, well,
and the thing is that she's so enthralled in the African American community that she forgot to consider the historical context of passing in this country.
Yeah.
People passed in this country as a survival mechanism.
They sure did.
So for her to pass and think, oh, it's just that's how I identify myself now, that's offensive.
Well, I mean,
that's incredibly offensive.
Well, for some people it might be, but I would suggest to you, how come we're not having this same attitude towards these people like Carol Channing, who was passing? You know who Carol Channing was, right? The entertainer?
Yes.
We recently found out she was passing, and all these other black folk who have, during the time of passing, the black folks knew who were passing. I think Clarence Thomas, who's identified black, is passing. He just looks black. If you really want to, I'd rather we can do a trade.
You can't compare the two. The element of deception in what she did is offensive.
I think what he's doing is offensive.
And she passed to accelerate her professional agenda.
Start backing up. Wow.
She knew that if she was a white woman, she wouldn't have been received the same way. She knew she did it intentionally. She's not a dumb person. She's a little off mentally, but she's not a dumb person.
I haven't examined her.
Miss Rachel, as he referred to her.
I haven't done an assessment of Miss Rachel to determine.
Anyone who could live that kind of lie and start to believe it, you're a little off mentally.
I think that there's something going on there, but I think what's deeper is that once she decided to hook up with this black man, with the parents he had, because the parents
he knew she wasn't the sister.
Oh, he knew it? You notice he's not talking.
He knew homeboy ain't talking.
Homeboy's not talking.
I've never heard anything from him. The parents are talking, her siblings are talking, but the husband's not saying a word. Because he knows
the husband's not saying
nothing. Because he running the show. He got her like that. See, that's the part of what we're not talking about.
But he should have told her what she was doing wasn't right and was deceptive. As a black man, he knew what she was doing. He should have told her.
Do you agree with what she did?
No.
No, she doesn't.
You don't agree?
I understand. I'm not saying I agree with her lack of integrity.
She could have been more effective if she had been honest.
I think that race is a social construct. Who she perceives herself to be. She got Caitlyn's situation going on. I don't totally get Caitlyn. But I think she's, in her mind...
Oh, Kris Jenner?
Yeah.
Kris Jenner.
Well, you know...
We're talking about race, gender, 2 different things. That's two different show topics.
No, we're talking about...
They're not synonymous. They're mutually exclusive. They're not synonymous.
We're talking about
in terms of identity.
We're talking about self-identification. And even though race and gender may be different, the part of how you identify is a personal choice.
The reporter showed a picture of an African-American man, and she said that was her father. That's deception.
That's an outright lie. That's not
exactly, and that's my point.
Lie. But my point is,
my point.
But my point is, black folks who are being holier than thou have to understand there's a whole history of black folks passing.
Exactly,
and it impacts all of them.
Which she wasn't sensitive
and some of it, and I had people. My grandfather, they hated it. He hated doing it.
Right.
He hated it. But there were some black folks who loved it. Because they got the benefits.
But why did he hate it?
You know why he hated it.
Because a part of himself had died when he took on the identity of another race.
Yeah, but he had a white that was clear, but down south in North Carolina, so he was down there and he had to do it. He moved up here. He didn't pass up here, but down North Carolina, he did what he had to do. But some folks passed and never came back.
You think we should open up the lines and hear the...
I would love to hear what people have to say. Definitely, I would.
All right, what you want to open up and talk about?
What we talking about?
Well, yeah, continue on this topic because it's something that
it's the wrong thing. She stepped down though.
It doesn't matter. She stepped down because she felt the heat.
Do you think
if she hadn't been added, she wouldn't have stepped down.
You think is it jail time behind this?
No. I mean, I don't think she should go to jail.
So what
But-
should happen to her?
Yeah.
I
We
mean,
gonna put her in a cave?
I mean, she can go on living her life, but the thing is that now
She's got a
her
great
stock. Thank you.
She
Her
got a great
stock
book
goes
right
up.
now.
They'll probably have a movie on Lifetime.
I'm buying it.
Okay, she'll probably do speaking engagements, and she'll bank off of this. I dare say that this was intentional.
Allie, you know
That she
what?
masterminded this whole thing. 'Cause she's not a dumb chick.
You know,
She's not a dummy.
Allie, don't worry, Allie. You and I'll get paid arguing about this.
That's-
People love to see it.
that's
I mean, yeah, I love those checks too, but I think that this could have been premeditated.
Now, do you
this
have
whole
a
stuff.
premeditated?
Of course.
What about the NAACP president in Baltimore?
Yeah, she's joining us shortly.
Tissa?
Yes.
Tissa Hill, the
Tissa Hill?
president of NAACP?
Wow.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Uh-oh.
But the NAACP has an interesting situation going on too, because historically,
What's
it's the reason why it's not called the National Association of Black People, it's called the National Association of Colored People, is because the Niagara movement. And the Niagara movement started as a result of Booker T. Washington leaving Tuskegee, coming up to Boston, making this speech that, you know, that was liberal town, and they were so offended by him basically telling blacks you should be more subservient, you should have have businesses like being maids and clothes, and them black folks up in Boston weren't getting that.
Oh.
So what happened was that you turned me down. What happened was is that them folks in Boston weren't hearing what Booker T was saying. So Monroe Trotter, who's a famous instigator and a publisher, got together with some other folks, and they ended up having something called the Niagara Movement, where they met literally in Niagara, New York, and that became the NAACP. Now, understand something. Some of the people in the original NAACP, several were white, several were straight up mixed and halfway passing, and then later on, the NAACP is a complicated animal, historically speaking, and you had a lot of white backing, and a lot of the people who were involved in the NAACP in later dates were actually collaborating with the government and informing,
There's
including
nothing
Stingar.
complicated about
So
what she
you-
did. She made it. She
So-
intentionally did not reveal her identity, her race.
Well,
That was deliberate,
I would say
and it was
that-
intentional.
I would say that some of those folks some of those folks back in the day were guilty of a similar offense, and be it survival or whatever, it's the same offense. So in her case, it might be survival because her parents had disowned her once she got with this black man.
That really, I mean, no offense, that doesn't make any sense. There's no correlation between passing years ago and what she did. There's no correlation there. There's no correlation.
Ali, are you equivocating?
There's
the same sin.
But there's no correlation at all.
You're just trying to do revisionist history and say that the sin that they committed now is different because of the reason why. It's the same sin.
Can you be another race working at the NAACP?
Yes, you
You
can.
can, but she can't. You can, but be honest.
Yeah.
The
I'm not proud
element
of
of
that.
deception does not sit well with me.
I'm with
That's
you.
why everything that she's accomplished to me
right.
has been tainted.
Let's
Okay.
go. Let's go to Ernest. Maybe we'll see what he had to say. Ernest, you live. How you doing, Ernest?
Yeah, how you doing?
What's going on?
I think it's about 3 million black people that's crossed the color line.
Yep.
J. Edgar Hoover has black ancestors.
Mm-hmm.
He was passing for white. No, you don't hear no white person say, well, let's check into J. Edgar Hoover's background and find out who his black relatives are. But the thing is this, when she decided to go black, you give up your white privilege. She was threatened by the Ku Klux Klan. She was harassed, had crosses burnt on her lawn and all that. And most black people wouldn't put up with that.
Yes.
Most black people wouldn't put up with that and wouldn't talk out against white supremacy.
And she did.
And she did. So, and she was just like, to make the comparison of Miss Loiseau. Miss Loiseau was a white woman that went down to the civil rights and was making peanut butter for the civil rights workers. On her way home, they stopped her and they raped her and killed her.
With Goodman and Cheney.
Yeah, yeah. And also with Goodman and Cheney. So when you make an argument like this, man, she hasn't did anything to hurt black people. She has did things to help black people. Salazar. And the reason why she was outed by her mother and father, good people, is because her older brother is allegedly charged with sexually assaulting a black girl.
Don't test that down.
And
all right?
in order to prevent her testifying against them, they decided to out the daughter.
And see, I didn't know that, Ernest. And Ernest, I've heard you for years. You real strong on the militancy issue. So